Bam! Hello!
Hey.
Welcome to episode 112 of the Hat Chat podcast with your hosts, Chris Trott,
Ross Hornby,
and Alex Smith.
And a big old thanks to Jonathan there.
Nice, yeah, it was
for
good.
That wonderful Irish
really
traditional
I like the style.
Fiddling.
It almost gave me a kind of a Witcher pub vibe.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Did the Irish steal
maybe
the Witcher's soundtrack?
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, we all love a good fiddler.
Love a good fiddler. And we also love hypotheticals. And
Yes.
most importantly, the patrons that choose the hypotheticals.
Right, of course, yeah.
Big thanks to them.
Big up to you, patrons.
Patreon.com/hatfilms. You get
around.
When you go on that website, you have the luxury of choice. You can be like, I only really like. It's more for us to know than anything else, because all the tiers are basically the same price, apart from I like everything. So it's basically telling us like, oh, I'm here supporting Hat Chat, I'm here supporting Hat Films, I'm here supporting Booty, our D&D show, or I like all of it and I'll give you a little bit more for it. So thank you everybody that's supported any of those tiers. It's much appreciated. And if you're specifically a patron of the Hat Chat podcast, you get to choose our hypotheticals.
Indeed.
So we have some options today.
Yeah, do you want me to bring them up?
If you oh yes, I didn't put them in the doc,
Then on the doc I'll find them.
I believe option C is the winner of today, but you can check the poll.
I am looking.
We're checking it live right now, so you can get your vote in. If you are watching us on twitch.tv/hatfilms, you can.
Here we go. Okay, option
C
C has won.
Unanimously almost.
I will read it out.
Please.
If you were to be arrested, what would you and your friends think would be the reason why? So if you were arrested for something.
So should we do each other?
Let's do each other, yeah.
So if Trott was arrested, we have to guess why.
You just found out I've been arrested. There's no other information. It's like Trott's not in today, and then you find out.
So what crime?
Local man has been arrested.
I feel like it would be an oversight thing.
I think he will get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
In a situation where he's there just like fucking walking Marchi into like this kind of violent crime that's happening. He's like, whoa, you match the description, sir. It's like, no!
Yeah.
Take my dog, someone!
You don't think I'm capable of committing a crime?
I think you're capable of committing a crime through omission. I think that like you're more than likely
the guy in Making a Murderer get convinced.
Yeah, honestly,
I guess I did do it.
I think I may have been there.
Maybe I did do it.
Yeah. It was so long ago.
Or like you'll do something whilst entering a country that'll see you like spending 10 years in a Thai jail, like those kind of things. I can imagine that happening, being like, Jesus Christ, he's got himself.
And I just go along with it because
not that you necessarily go along with it, but you're just like, I just imagine you getting just really screwed and just being like, oh my God, he's really got himself into a bad situation here.
Abroad, I guess that'd be quite an interesting one, wouldn't it?
I just like do some sort of like culturally disrespectful thing, unaware that I'm doing it.
Well, in Thailand, there were so many opportunities where we just talk about certain subjects. You're like, no, you can't really talk about that. Like,
don't show affection.
Yeah,
but there are a lot of signs also. To be fair, it must happen so much that they have to put up all these signs in these like tourist attraction places.
What were the restrictions mainly? Just like no. Was it no petting? I'm thinking of swimming pools.
It was basically, we're talking about like in temples and stuff like that. There's like respect laws. So like, or not laws, bylaws, let's say.
No fucking.
Essentially, like, this is a place to like walk around in a revered state, not like a date. You know, I think that was mainly what they were trying to get at. But yeah, I think that'd be possible. I think Ross probably speeding. Yeah. I think maybe you'd accidentally kill somebody. Accidentally kill somebody in a car.
Because I actually was cautioned. Well, not for speed. Well, it wasn't for speeding. It was for driving too fast off the line. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't driving for long enough.
Then what's the point of all these like YouTube sites and like car reviews saying how good the acceleration on this car is if I can't go from 0 to 60 in
you could say that
2.7 seconds.
Good point. I mean, obviously, look at the entire history of Top Gear is talking about how fast cars go, and everyone's like, hey, it's got all this great
I always find it so redundant
like
that the acceleration is like, wow, I want to buy that car because of the acceleration, and then get a caution by the police. Like, what?
They followed me to the warehouse and they were just like, oh, we saw you went off quite a bit fast just off that line there, and we're like, oh, Okay.
Are you here to congratulate me?
So I was like, yeah. I was like, how quick was I going? I was like, oh, nice. That's good speed, good
You got
speed, good
2.7.
timing. No, it was just a nice little empty strip. There wasn't any cars in front of me. Thought I'd make a little parp. Oh my God, that's a kid! Oh, they're all dead.
It's a whole school trying to do a crossing.
Yeah, luckily it was only a very short strip, and I wasn't speeding beyond that.
You just got.
I just got to 40 very quickly.
Yeah,
I think that like what they,
which is
it's very broad.
They were just like because I was like right behind me. I didn't even realize. So yeah, maybe that would be the most likely one.
If you're gonna,
if I didn't even see them there.
No, exactly. You need to check. You need to check your surroundings before you do a park.
Well, I have actually driven on the pavement once. When I first the first week of learning to drive.
Yeah.
Some guy stopped really suddenly, and there were cars coming really fast the other way, and so I had to suddenly turn left to avoid smashing straight into him because he just literally hard braked, and then basically just overtook him on the left side.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Fucking scared. And they just stopped for nothing.
Yeah.
I looked back, I was like, what? They didn't stop for anything. I was this little tin. I would have been crushed like a little tin can in my little Renault 5.
Yeah.
But it mattered the curb okay?
Yeah, it was fine.
Was it a big bang or not?
It was a low curb. It was like a. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I was just like, fuck. This shitty car's not stopping in time.
Back to you being arrested. I think it would be a time when you are just exasperated, or something gets you so wound up that you accidentally really do something just at the peak of your emotional cloudiness. I can see that happening where you're just so furious at something that someone accidentally oh, fuck off, and then you push them and then they accidentally
fall in the river and die.
The actual crime would be, it wouldn't be purposeful, it would be accidental
through rage,
but they'd accidentally
a rage-fueled crime.
Yeah. I think so. You just can't control the situation.
Yeah.
Say Murphy does something, and you're he's, for some reason he attacks or gets attacked.
Right,
he gets it. It's more likely he's going to get attacked by a big dog, and you get involved and end up really hurting that dog. Or
they say you should just kick the shit out of the dog if it's attacking your dog, just so it knows not to keep coming back.
And then you
I don't know if that method ever works. I've never done it, but I've seen some guy who's trained dogs saying, look, if the dog's about to attack your dog, you have every right to just kick it away from your dog. If you don't have it on a leash or can't pick it up in time.
And I think you'd be put in for 12 hours in a holding cell just because the local police officer didn't know the laws on that. You were kicking a dog, so you're going to do some time, and then it's let him out. He was defending his own dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I can see that happening.
And then it goes to dog court, and then there's all of the dog proceedings. You have to get dog solicitor, dog lawyer, both kinds.
Which is a fucking nightmare because we still have mostly humans in those kind of
it's hard to
career
get
paths.
Yeah.
And there are just no educational opportunities for dogs to get into those. There's a dog ceiling. There's a glass ceiling for dogs.
There's a glass ceiling. I like to think, you know how when you become a lawyer, you have to it's called passing the bar, where you it's basically an exam, and if you don't pass the bar, you can't practice as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Dog lawyers have passing the bar.
Nice.
I just think that's quite funny. If you knew what passing the bar was, you'd be like.
Yeah.
But having to explain it.
You have to explain
the
legalities of it.
I've been in the education system for 6 years, but it's funny that you made a passing joke at my species.
Passing the bark.
That's a very human thing for you to do. I'm just trying to make a living as a dog.
Well, I mean, it's incredible. You can speak fluent English. Surely that's enough.
Impressive.
It's incredible, right?
Their mouths don't even look like they should be able to speak English.
But no one is in the house. None of us are in the House of Commons, so we can't pass a law to be can you stop doing dog puns?
Yeah, dog jokes.
For our major achievements in life, please. Thank you.
And sorry, that must be rough.
Do you think if someone created...
I'm done with this.
You know how there was that film with Billy Connolly, where he could speak as a dog because they put a little collar around him.
Right.
And then every bark was translated somehow.
Okay.
If they got into the neurons or whatever inside their brain...
Yeah.
And then
do you mean Up?
No, Up has this very similar character.
To be fair. This,
not the first time I've done a dog collar translator.
Easier thing to understand.
I was like...
Just like an Up.
Yeah, just Up is probably more popular. Yeah.
If they could do that, and then dogs could basically use computers, because you could just strap a powerful phone on their back. As good a computer as any these days. and they could just talk you through that.
That would be great.
If they could communicate via that, would we give them more rights, do you think?
Yeah.
If any animals could start communicating through using a computer where it's actually explaining something that maybe it physically shows that it also means this as well.
Well, there are dogs out there.
Suddenly, do you think the rights would change even more?
I think so. There are dogs already.
Or would they nip it in the butt there and then?
I don't know whether it's coincidental or they're just learned mechanics, but there are border collies and stuff that have a grid of buttons, and the owner's what do you want? And they're like, food, playtime, toy, bitch.
Is the good one?
Bitch.
Nothing, bitch. Oh, my colleague just keeps pressing bitch.
Bitch.
Food, bitch.
Toy, bitch. It's weird.
Do you think bitch is please? No, there's please on that, Matt.
No, it says, there's a please. He's never touched it. He's completely clean.
He likes the bitch button. So what crime do you think I would commit?
Oh, right.
I think you'd kill someone.
You think so?
I think you're capable of killing someone, not because you want to, but because you defended yourself or defended someone you care about.
Right.
Let's say your brother gets into an altercation, right? He's inebriated. The other person's way more inebriated, and he's a bit of a fighty guy, let's say, and you get into an altercation.
Not my brother.
No, your brother, the other guy. He's drug-addled, and he's just looking for a fight on the streets.
He's got a junkie.
This is post-club. You're like Larry.
You know me, always clubbing these days. I'm in the club all the time.
Yeah. You're clubbing with your brother, and your brother's just clearly had too much, and he's just woo, and he bumps into this guy.
Oh no!
Fucking hell! And you're a little bit more sober because at the age of 34 you can't have too many because this will be a multi-day hangover.
I'll get indigestion as well.
You get indigestion. And you've had too many IPAs. You already know this is going to be an issue.
Yeah. 2 IPAs and I've already acid reflux out the arse.
This guy is fuck off, mate, and pushes your brother against the wall. He hits the back of his head on the brick wall, and that really gets you angry because you son of a bitch. I reckon that would anger you to the point where you're like, fuck you. He draws a knife.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight him then.
Well, no, you're backing off, and he's up in your face.
Right.
And then he trips, stabs himself.
Oh, shit.
And dies on you.
Oh, shit.
And then you get arrested.
Then I kick him. Then I kick him in the head a few times to make sure I get a few years.
It looks more purposeful now. He's kicking him more.
See, I do worry about that. I think that's...
Wait. What are you worried about?
That's the actual thing that I do worry about, and one of the reasons I've never really been in a major fight. Accidental death. The amount of times that people...
You just hit someone wrong.
Yeah, exactly. The amount of times people die from falling over after they've been hit. I don't want to go to prison.
I really don't.
Yeah.
Not the anime.
No. There's actually a Vice interview with somebody that accidentally killed someone.
It was a documentary about a series of people who went to prison because they got into one fight at a club or something and knocked someone out or killed someone through. And that an injury.
Considering how many fights I've seen in my lifetime, I'm surprised that there aren't more people like that as well. Because you see it when you're at uni and at college and stuff like that most often, and you're like, how the fuck aren't more people getting killed doing this? So you think, oh, it's not so bad or whatever. But I know I would be the guy to get accidentally kill somebody. I think that is something I worry about.
I think you got the physical...
I've never thought of you as a violent person.
No, I'm not.
I don't think I've ever seen you even...
That's why he needs to be...
towards a violence.
He needs to be inebriated in some fashion where it's
really
he'll push beyond. And also he's defending someone like his brother. I think that would rile him up a little bit more, where he's willing to get up in front of this guy to defend someone, and then their own stupidity causes them to really harm themselves.
I do worry that sometimes I'll do something illegal that's dangerous, accidentally, accidentally blowing up my kitchen and getting in trouble.
I was thinking that. It was man kills entire street by fiddling with his gas pipe.
I back in...
God, it's a leak, I think.
Secondary school and college when I was making
anything.
The potassium nitrate mixtures and stuff like that.
You do experiment with bombs and stuff,
Not so much anymore because I don't have the outside space, but
if you
as soon as I do...
Yeah. He's limited by scope.
I mainly want a garden because I can then...
set it on fire.
Do dangerous things in it, yeah. Have you got any opinions on what crime you think I might commit?
So mild terrorism.
Maybe some lowbrow tax fraud.
Oh yeah,
Accidental tax fraud.
Yeah,
I thought I was in the right bank account. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm happy to pay. What fine?
Yeah.
How many years?
It's like I'm just transferring it there because an article online, which I thought was a government one, was suggesting that this was a good idea. Or like it's a bond. I thought it was a bond.
Yeah. No, totally. I can totally see that because it is quite difficult to navigate as well. Like you have no idea half the time.
Yeah, doing your own finances is always a bit.
Before you know it, you got a crypto farm with like 10 warehouses of GPUs from Nvidia, and you're like, I didn't realize this was.
Well, when we started getting paid in general, I just didn't even want to touch any of the money because I was like, I don't know, I don't want to do anything risky.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get someone to go through this first.
Yeah.
Because
if anything,
we can get fucked.
We can all get arrested for tax fraud because we've got a bad accountant.
Yeah. Or historical.
The first year before we had
piracy
an accountant,
crime.
Remember that? Yeah, historical
piracy crime.
I mean, Ross certainly. I probably should have gone for that one.
You watched a film in 2009 that wasn't yours.
You got a load of it on an hard drive.
Of course, shit.
You got the whole. All of Game of Thrones seasons 1 to 6. I noticed why you didn't get 7 and 8.
You watched Silver Linings Playbook when it came out, didn't you?
So here's
shit. I might have done.
Let's say that in the future an AI is developed that allows them to discover all historical digital crime.
Right.
Which sadly isn't outside the realms of possibility, right?
Yeah.
So, and what they do, this autocratic theoretical government that has this powerful, essentially tax sniffing AI, right? They then go.
This sounds like a Stellaris storyline.
Right. So since 2003, you've pirated all these films, you've pirated all this music, you've stole software, you've done all sorts of digital crime, and what we're going to do is because we're going to levy a digital crime tax against you, and it essentially becomes like a life debt that you have to work off, and every year we're going to tax you based on what you actually used and stole, and you've got no remittance there because it's like, yeah, I did, and I knew that it was digital crime, and so.
Well, they go for the low-hanging fruit and just be like, basically just say, oh, you could pay this fee, or you just pay this fee and it'll be a lower fee, but still a lot.
Exactly.
Because wasn't there like a case a few years back when they tried to like just sue several individuals who were pirating stuff,
consuming,
and it was like into the millions of what they owed because it was like 10,000 per like download or something. And they just couldn't pay it. Yeah, I don't know whether they did time for that or whether it was just kind of
can't pay, we'll take it away.
But
the thing
try to make
like,
an example out of them, but it's like but I mean, as technology has advanced and streaming and stuff has become more affordable,
pirate a lot less
in general.
Well, that's the thing is people.
No one is pirating organically because they finally clocked on and figured out how digital media should work.
There was a period where it was like either go to the cinema to watch a new film, or
watch a cam,
or wait for it to come available in your country because it's still there, or it's already available in America as a digital thing because it was released on HBO or whatever, and someone's put a rip on Pirate Bay, boom.
Exactly.
Watch it now. Access. I could wait a year.
Digital access.
For it to arrive in the UK, or watch it now because we're internet savvy.
Yeah.
We definitely did that a lot.
Yeah.
So
guilty.
Yeah, maybe we'd all be potentially guilty of that. We definitely haven't done that though.
No.
How many cameras do I need to look into?
We could look into that one.
We haven't pirated anything in our entire history.
I don't know
what do you mean? What is digital crime?
I don't know.
Not to mention all the weird porn you've seen.
I just use Candy Crush.
Candy Crush.
That's all I know. And Facebook.
Facebook and Candy Crush for me. Right. Well, that's the crimes that we would commit. Yeah. I would. Yeah, almost certainly.
You're worried about murdering someone, which is worrying to me that you are worried about that.
Yeah, everyone should be worried about accidentally killing someone.
Well, yeah, like if you get in the behind the wheel of a car, or if you're
in death machine in a car, and I've noticed that more so by cycling to work.
Yeah.
How much cars just dismiss cyclists.
That is what. To be fair, driving when like it's peak time for cyclists is so scary.
Yeah,
you want to give them space, but sometimes there's just no space whatsoever. So you're slowly crawling.
Both perspectives.
I'll stay behind them. And you've got cars beeping you. Just go round. It's like, but there's other cars coming the other way. It's like, cyclists and motorists.
It's tough. There's a few sections where there's no cycle path for me, and certain cars give you a decent amount of space, so you don't feel like, shit, that was pretty close wing mirror there. And then trucks are just like,
oh my god,
way.
Have a go with this bit of negative air pressure, mate, and it sort of sucks you in a little bit.
That's the thing, they know the space of their truck because they're wanging these trucks in and out of logistics all the time.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that there's collateral like wind and that sort of stuff that could knock a cyclist around, because there's not another vehicle that can just take a hit like that. But yeah, it's an interesting being a cyclist.
Well, you could combine the two things we discussed there and be that guy who goes around on his bike and then he's got a GoPro on, and then he just like peers over there into the cars and sees people using their phones and then just reports them to the police.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like
the vigilante.
Fuck. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if they cut him up first and then he's kind of like, oh, I'll have a look, or he's literally
Find
hunting
something
for
on them.
I think it's kind of like a bit like, oh, like Jesus.
I feel like if you're
sat in traffic, like you are like being just a bit of an arsehole there. It's like you might just be waiting,
because it is illegal
you shouldn't
now
use your phone at all. Like
in
when
the
you're
UK,
driving.
isn't it? They changed the law so that you can't interact with any device.
Yeah, but you can still use the giant fucking screen that are in your modern car.
Yeah.
You
can't.
You can.
No, you can set up the thing to do its thing, and then that's it.
What do you mean?
Whilst you're moving, you cannot interact with it.
What? Are you talking about your phone
screen.
or your vehicle?
The screen. You can't even touch a radio dial now.
Really?
Yeah. That's
if
the
they see
new
you
law.
touching your radio dial, that's technically.
See, because I got
hands
told
off
by
the wheel.
somebody that it's just the phone that's the problem. Screens and things like that in cars.
It's the same thing. You got to set up your like GPS or whatever before you move in the car.
So what? Yeah, and also if you're at traffic lights, right? It doesn't count.
It does count.
As in, like, I know, as in, like, stopping at traffic lights is not a time to
It's not a time to do it,
yeah.
You need to be aware of when to move again.
Yeah, it's
a
did they
bit
say
much.
only in McDonald's drive-thrus? They said.
Oh yeah.
It's like if you're like in private land and
It's where you
McDonald's
have to use it for whatever reason. Yeah.
Yeah, but you should set up
funny.
like voice control on your phone.
Hello. Yeah.
Or Siri.
Yeah.
Or whichever.
Pull the other one.
Just voice control then. 'Cause voice control works quite well. Like, you
Bixby.
can just go,
Yeah, I
track.
use it all the time.
Skip track.
Well, I've got the buttons on my
Skip.
steering wheel anyway.
Yeah,
Hey!
I don't. I was talking
Hey, Siri!
This is better than
Sorry.
touching a screen. No, no, redirect.
Redirect.
the song too
No,
loud.
that's no.
Skip the song. It's too loud. Volume down. Volume. Lower volume. What's the command? Fuck.
Down
I
volume.
guess I'm listening to it.
Decrease volume.
I'm so present on the road.
Set volume to 70%. That's louder. That's much louder. Oh boy. You see BMW are going to use Alexa now as their
Really? That's good.
as their in car system. I don't know. Just
All
saw
these
it, like,
Amazon will
yesterday.
now be able to track you on the roads and when you get home and your Roomba has scanned your property.
When you get home from BMW.
You need car air freshener and oh, fuck you. I know what I need.
Would you like to do some deliveries? You just get what?
You are near a drop-off box.
Please, for £5, would you like to
Just gives
pick
you
up some
vouchers.
parcels?
I mean,
How do we think
honestly,
about-
that's probably the fucking future, isn't it?
Yeah. How do we
Right,
think
you're
about this
driving
whole-
nearby. I'll pick it up and like it's on the way. It's on my path.
Yeah. Well, Amazon acquiring Roomba, which is
Yeah, you
what
said,
we're
yeah.
discussing. Well, how do we feel about the invasiveness of that?
Because they've got cameras on, right?
They've got Alexa. They got their own Ring.
They can map your
But obviously you got
floor space.
Cameras on everything now. They've got also I mean, I've not got one, but they've got those camera
Echo shows.
Echo shows. Is that what they're called?
I've got one.
Yeah. Oh, you've got one.
Yeah.
Do you use it much?
No. I use it as a screen, which like shows me information.
Yeah. Since I moved, I've got loads of stuff that uses Amazon Alexa and stuff, but like I haven't set it up.
I
And
have.
I'm not
I have.
bothered.
I like it. So those Tapo plugs, I've
they
got
connect to it,
Google
right?
Home, which
Yeah.
is different, same difference basically. But like you can just name it and then link it to the Google Home app, and then you can just say it
Turn
to Google
off,
Home, like
yeah.
turn on the bedroom lamp,
Yeah.
and so like it doesn't have, which is really useful.
I've just been lazy. For some
I
reason,
love
I just
it.
haven't set it up properly, but there's a lot of things I could turn on with it.
Well, I'm just thinking of like the potential. Say like, if you just look at it, bare bones, they acquired Roomba, and Roomba can like has a little camera, and then can map your floor space. For a lot of people, it'd be like, well, it's just my floor space, and they're looking at my shins and my feet and stuff on the floor. That doesn't seem like a big deal. But you, like you say, you could extrapolate data from like, we've noticed that your feet, their shoes are losing their wear. We can why not buy some new shoes? Or your
But I guess like there's got to be privacy laws around that. I think the problem is like the nefarious purposes it could be used for. Not even necessarily by the company, but the fact that data is being gathered at all. As soon as it's accessed by bad actors, be it say a foreign nation that's hacked Amazon,
right?
Then that's when you've got some real problems.
You know what shoes I'm wearing.
Well, not necessarily that. You're right. Basically, it won't matter until it matters. And so, for example, if another technology comes along where that information could be useful, let's not say shoes, but let's say they worked out a way to spy on you in a more complete way. For example, you see that a lot of computers now, but it's quite a modern innovation, but they have walk away sleep mode. Have you heard about this? So most computers now have the option, or it's a chip-based thing, I think. It essentially allows them to use Wi-Fi information. So when your Wi-Fi on your computer is disturbed or changes, when you approach or get near to your computer, you're essentially creating, like, let's call it resistance. And your computer will measure, using the information it's getting from the Wi-Fi network, that increase or decrease of resistance. So as you approach a computer, it will go, oh, something's nearby, I'll switch on. And then as you get up from your computer and leave it, it can then go back to sleep based on the amount of interference the Wi-Fi is receiving. This is a feature that is available now. It's something I read about the other day, and it's possibly even backwards compatible. So stuff like that can give you spatial awareness of people within a room,
where they are.
So let's say, for example,
so LiDAR, I guess, on our phones.
Yeah, like it's about, like, if a new technology came along that would allow you to, you know, I guess it already does in the fact that you could probably track a person's phone position, because the phone's never really that
heavily
far from
accurate GPS coordinates.
I mean, if on your monitor, you know, like on the top of the iPhone, when you look at it, it knows when you're looking at it, etc.
Yeah.
Like if it just literally, when you were looking away from your screen area, it just shut down in terms of power saving feature. It's quite interesting. Or if it literally just kind of, your screen goes off when you're not looking at it.
Well, what do they call that? Like,
that's kind of good if you like wanted to literally just save energy and not, like, you know. That's that feature.
This work that has this already. Yeah,
I know,
yeah. I think that where something like that would be a problem, where a Roomba knowing you're having a camera inside your house would be a problem, is if you're literally about to get, like, raided, right? I think that for me, that information of knowing the room layout, knowing the position of the people within the room, the only real inherent advantage I can think of right now is, say you're about to assault the building, knowing the positions and layout of a building would be very useful. But how often is that happening to individuals? Like,
well, I think it's more subtle, personally, where it's like you end up being the product, and you're being subtly, like, nudged and manipulated through advertising and online browsing, algorithms dictating based on...
That's already happening.
I know it's already happening.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
detail.
It's just
more
invasive.
data, right?
More invasive. They got more data on you.
But they can't control your mind.
They can. They ultimately can. They can steer you towards... Like, Trump got into power because of gentle nudging and manipulation on social media. And also, I think it can definitely happen where you're like, the floor maps out your, you have a floor map and it knows you've got certain products in your home and you're lacking certain products in your home, and then you are steered towards, like, wanting a certain product in your home, and it just slowly advertises it to you until you buy it. And so,
even if it's not, but then what exact product, you might still buy something from that same store.
What I'm saying is, they can't control your mind to the point where you're doing things that necessarily, like, of course, I like, in my mind, strong privacy laws are super important, without a doubt. Like, I completely agree. I'm not trying to, like, explain away or say, like, oh, don't worry about it. I think what I'm trying to get at is, like, there's only so many big issues in the world that you can worry about, and we as a people can really address at any one time. I think the privacy laws provide a good blanket to protect against things like that. I hope that they will be stronger and that they are enforceable on these huge companies with these massive unknowable data banks as well. This is another thing, is like understanding and aggregating that data is another challenge. I think that things like that, where you say, like, oh yeah, they can learn so much about you that they can perfectly market to you.
Yeah.
I think that you're right that they can 100%, and they can influence you. However, I don't see how that's a huge amount different from, say, adding a lot of sugar to a food or a drink in order to make it more popular, marketing cigarettes to people in the 20th century, making it look sexy, and also the fact that nicotine in itself is addictive.
They can all be bad things, right?
Yeah, it's just marketing.
What I'm saying is like,
but it's now they know more about you individually. Therefore, they're
not
but
trying.
We've kind of chosen to live like that. If you don't want to live like that, don't live in the Western world. Like what I'm saying is like. I understand what you're saying, but like you're not going to wake up one morning and be surrounded by things that you like didn't feel like you had agency in buying.
No, because you're not going to suddenly be awake to the manipulation that's happened to you because it's happening so gradually.
But then what chance do you have? What I'm saying is like, but that's just living. That's just life. That's living in a capitalist Western state.
It doesn't have to though. Like you say,
how do you avoid it?
Having privacy laws and things like that. But I think it's essentially like all apps, social media apps, have been tailored so specifically to cater to that dopamine hit of you just retaining on the app.
Yeah.
They found a way to, as much as you can be consciously aware of something, you're still a biological, mushy, evolutionary thing that has a bit of monkey brain, and they are exploiting that in order for you to essentially be the product and gain them more money through advertising, right? So I think that's the problem, is you are being steered and you're essentially a cog in a machine. All you're doing is servicing and being a product for a bigger corporation and just giving them money because you feel like this is fine because you've been like, it's like
but you get fun out of it though.
It's like Wall-E.
Yeah,
that's what we are. We're guys on a seat. It's like, oh, the new red slushy's coming and everyone's got the red slushy and you're drinking that, and then we don't need to move anymore because we don't have to because we've got everything tailored for us. Everything's tailored to exactly what we want, but we've been gradually nudged towards that existence.
To become the perfect consumer.
To be the perfect product.
Right.
Which essentially means, we're not going to be aware of it happening to us because it's so gentle and it's exploiting that other part of you which isn't consciously aware. It makes you want it, which is, I think, bad for society as a whole. As an individual, like you say, you're not going to care, but I don't think it's good for us.
No, of course not.
Conscious of you of these things when you're like browsing the internet and stuff. I'm quite conscious of these, like as in like just it trying to guess that, I like this thing, therefore it's going to. So
it's all based on.
Just like, maybe I won't click on that extra link, or maybe I'll go in a different browser this time. Like just because I feel like
I've tried
it's all just tracking, and it's all just like I don't really want to see adverts for this product, so I'll open a different browser. I don't want to see shit for this. And
even if you like go off grid, right? You still have friends and colleagues that are going to recommend things to you, and word of mouth is so strong. What's to suggest they haven't also been?
I understand what you're saying, Trott, but I do still think the same thing, and I think I kind of get what Ross is saying as well. Like, there is some individual responsibility. Like, you can't just be like I do understand what you're saying. Like, the amount of data points you can gather on a person can make it just so incredibly effective that it's very difficult to resist. I get that, and you can say like, I have personal responsibility. I'm conscious of it, and like even with all those things you can still not be, you can still be influenced, and I understand where you're coming from that, but I do also think that there is a line. Like, I don't think that we will become completely without agency accidentally. I think that there is like you're saying the Wall-E situation where people become
obviously that is like a really
like, I think that could happen. Like, I think that we could get to the point where we're perfect consumers, like you say, like everything is just like met, every need is met. But what will happen is, because we're human beings and we're fickle, people will get sick of having every need met and do things like I like to do occasionally, which is what I'm going to do after this, is go and make myself miserable by sleeping in a horrible rainy forest, because it's those things that make me realize or remind me how nice it is to have a warm fucking bed to sleep in every night, like, because at a certain point, having every need met and having every pleasure met, much like with drug use, it doesn't become fun anymore. It's not a pleasure.
Yeah.
Sometimes pleasure morphs and takes the form of trial and tribulation, and the satisfaction you get through surmounting those trials. And I think that's why that won't necessarily happen.
I think there's always going to be a push and pull, right? And as soon as there is a lack of consumerism for a thing, they'll find a way to be like, well, we can offer this survival, like escape. As a product.
Absolutely. And I mean, we are in a consumerist culture, 100%. But if you don't want to be part of that, there are options for you. It's just whether or not you want to go and live like off grid and go crofting in like the Outer Hebrides of Scotland. Like you could, and you'd probably be very satisfied. It's just that you have to put your phone down. You have to let go of all those things that make life so comfortable.
Unplug from the Matrix.
Yeah.
Take the blue pill.
Yeah.
Red pill. I don't know which one.
But I think I once thought very much like that, in a very purist way of like, everything is dooming us. And like, that is scary and depressing. But I think that's not necessarily the whole picture. And I think that
just go with it, says the big corporation.
Just
let it.
Just let it happen.
You'll be happier.
You don't have control over how a state uses nuclear weapons. You have just about as much control over that as you have control over how well Amazon can market to you. This is the other thing. Like, I'm not saying let apathy wash over you, but some things you cannot change. The only thing you can truly control is yourself. So make sure that you're, conscious of these things.
How many websites do you think you've like logged into or registered?
Yeah, have my cookies already.
That you literally just put all your information,
your
address, your card numbers and stuff. Like,
how many times have you been like?
If you had to go back and just be, I should probably change passwords of all these websites. Who's doing that?
Yeah, all my passwords are in a password manager. What's to say that password manager
isn't compromised?
Just made, if anything, there's one password to rule them all.
Exactly. Sauron has got my password.
It's just like, if you manage to get that one password, you're like, oh no, I got the whole lot. Nice.
Shit, this was easier.
As long as that's got several verification processes. But yeah, like, there's now a nice company that has everyone's passwords in a little like password bank.
Yeah,
and they're fucking convenient because like you have to have all sorts of shit in your password now to get it through. But like,
what a great idea for a film and technology thesis, the idea that the Lord of the Rings can be an analogy for the dangers of modern cybersecurity. So like literally saying like, one ring to rule them all, like that's how it affected the story in Lord of the Rings, and like you could then make this whole thing about how it reflects on.
I might just prison break my passwords onto my body and tattoos, and that way I'm in my code, password manager
in dead languages.
Just really
only you no
in dead language. And like in 500 years time, like people are fighting Mad Max style over pieces of your skin that are just like passwords.
They're
like
locked away
Bitcoin wallets,
data vaults.
He finally cracks
really cool
the code
idea.
of his own password, and he's like, oh, the password was just password, right? Okay,
right, password one.
Nice.
1, 2, 3.
Password 2 on this site. Okay, nice, that's easy. Fucking hell. No, I hate the password thing. That annoys me, just because like if coming up with a new one each time as well. And then,
the thing is that they offer such a nice, easy solution like Google Chrome. It's like, we'll just store your passwords in Google Chrome, Google Home, Google, Google everything.
All these products, and it's like,
you've been Googled.
Yeah, just don't do anything wrong and you'll be okay.
But I've done a lot of things wrong, which is why I'm worrying about it.
Yeah. No, I also am joking, of course. That's a pretty terrible argument. I don't know. It's the privacy world is a scary thing. What's a non-scary thing? What good things
in general?
have
What from the digital one? Well,
dogs.
I mean,
back to dogs.
Back to dogs again. Dogs are great.
Pure.
Dogs are fantastic. I had a dream that Murphy fell into an icy river the other day.
Oh my god!
I jumped in immediately. I didn't even think about it.
How did they get on? How did you get on?
I got him. It was weird. It was like an abstract dream. So like when he went in the water, he was like a 2D shape, floating on like a leaf. I had to grab his leg and then got him out.
Weird.
That's one of those.
Okay, here's a hypothetical for you.
I went straight in there.
Here's a hypothetical
Didn't
for
even
you.
think about it. Yeah, go on.
There's a icy lake.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Can you picture it?
I think I can.
And you got 2D Murphy next to you.
Oh no.
He's weirdly pixelated,
He's 2D.
but it's Murphy, and you love him. There's a homeless person. They both fall into the icy river simultaneously.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And you can only save one of them. They're both drifting in opposite directions.
I'm saving Murphy.
I mean, yeah. I wouldn't blame you.
But I mean, I'd try and save both if I could.
You can't.
I mean, my instincts would be...
As soon as you save one, the other one's too far away and they die.
It really... I mean, contextually, if I could reach, I would, but...
I don't think you really care about people until you're given a reason to care about them, right? People are always like, that young kid. Murderer. There's always an emotive attachment to loss of life, right?
Yeah.
And it's quite easy to just say like, I'm not gonna be emotional about this, I mean,
it'd be pretty devastating.
What if their last words were, "I have family"?
We all got a family.
As you're deciding to dive towards Murphy.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything. Are you okay, boy?
Are you okay, dog?
Are you okay, dog?
I own an orphanage.
Yes, you'll be fine. I'll take all my clothes. I'll be naked. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Problem,
Yeah. I mean,
It's a
very
trolley problem
unique
made
scenario,
easy
like-
because you've got an emotional attachment to one of them.
All right. Okay. All right.
If you're like trying
If
to
it was
save,
a random
if you're
dog-
desperately trying to save Murphy, and then he just literally paddles his way to the edge, and it's like, oh fuck, I'd
Yeah.
let the other guy die, and you've just saved yourself.
So hold on. So
The guilt would be strong.
There's I worry at using this homeless person analogy because
Because it's like they're like as if they're worthless.
worthless,
Like, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but
Stranger.
Let's
Say
say a
stranger.
stranger and their dog are both
banker.
drowning. A banker and his dog are both drowning.
Right. Okay.
And
I probably wouldn't
Give
say
me the
that.
dog. Send it.
You pass the dog
push
to
the
me.
dog closer.
And push
Yeah,
him
yeah.
away.
Did you
What
say
about
bonus?
okay?
Bonus? Fuck
Beagle,
you.
Beagle, Murphy,
Yeah.
and one of your brothers.
Well, you're probably your brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd have to be. I think. Yeah. Like.
Your nephew.
Nephew. Well,
your
again,
second cousin.
I think. Yeah.
How far from your family does it
Your
have to go
It'd have to be a
before you
stranger.
save
a
Murphy?
cousin you haven't
Like-
met.
Cousin
or
I've never-
Murphy.
Cousin I haven't met. I wouldn't know who they were. They would be a stranger to me.
Oh, I'm a Hornby.
What did he say?
I didn't know we were related.
Boy.
If we go back
it's,
far enough, we're all related. Just so
Yeah.
you know. So the person I put in the analogy was someone you technically are related to, and you
Shit.
chose a dog.
We're all fucking our mothers and daughters
Yeah.
and sisters.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Weird.
We don't have to go back that
Where are you
far
guys keeping your sisters?
for us to all have the same bloodline. That's what I'm saying.
You don't have to go too far. You definitely got more Genghis Khan in you, though.
Do you reckon?
We all got
Yeah.
a little bit
Yeah.
Why is that?
because he
Dark
wiped out
features,
a
isn't he?
lot of civilization.
Yeah, we've all got a little bit, but he's asking why are you more because you've got darker features.
I went on holiday recently.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't change the colour of your eyes, though, does it?
No, but they do get a bit muddier in the sun. Have you seen that with people's eyes? Some people's eyes do like reactive lenses style thing where
Really?
they change color.
That's
So
bizarre.
it's a cool reaction.
Is it because there's like melanin or whatever?
I think
it is?
they have reactive melanin
Is it
in
melatonin
melatonin.
or
have you
melanin?
seen they've been putting chips in contact lenses as well? So you can
Cool.
have like a UI.
I want
like
those.
like a heads-up display. That's
I
pretty
was
cool.
ready for Google
Glass.
Glass.
Google
you know, I was up
Glass.
for it.
So why was that shut down? Was it just because it was in privacy issues?
Yeah,
like
people
people
really
immediately
like
there
it.
was a shutdown. because of that,
Cultural,
but,
I
like,
think
I'm
it's
surprised
also-
because
People
people are whipping out their
mocked
phones.
it because it was like it looked
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
I think that was
it was just like
ultimately
a bar, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
No one's going to wear that. A little
Yeah.
prism on your
Yeah.
eye.
It died
And
very quickly.
It also was like very much a cultural thing, I think. Like both, like it looked ridiculous, and also people for some reason. You're right. People, you whip out their phones. You could easily just sit across from somebody and just be filming them like this without any problem.
Yeah.
But
Happens
like,
a lot.
yeah, it does. I know, right? People like really annoyingly film in public really often.
I get super annoyed by the gym stuff.
Oh,
Where it's
Yeah.
like you're filming
yeah.
someone doing bad form or something. It's like, look at this guy
Yeah, yeah.
post it on TikTok.
God,
Yeah.
really? People,
I hate that.
What's the
yeah,
point?
pricks basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like
like,
someone filming John Cena when he was shopping, and then
They could film
and he
it.
was, yeah, they could see him.
Fucking hell.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? And he was just like, and then they came up to him at the end, and he was just like, "No, I won't speak to you. You just started filming me. I didn't like
Good,
disrespect him." It's
yeah,
like, well,
yeah.
yeah,
Fair
Really?
play.
like you just you could either go up to him and say, "Oh, like your stuff, like can I take a photo?" But started filming him. It's just rude, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. But anyway,
But it's a culture.
But yeah, exactly. And I think people
But the
weren't
likes-
ready for the idea, for whatever reason, of the camera being on the glasses. I think that will change quite
I think
quickly.
we're ready.
I do think
Again.
that they looked a bit stupid.
Gentle,
Yeah.
subtle marketing and making it gradually the zeitgeist.
But what will it do? It will empower you as an individual. This is the thing. This is what we traded privacy for. We traded
Yeah.
privacy for individual technological empowerment.
Most
In
of
the-
my arguments are devil's advocate arguments.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I will be buying Google Glass on day one.
absolutely. And also, I think that a lot of the time people are like, "Oh, Smith doesn't care about like privacy," or like, you know, I'm very like just the way it is. It's not like I totally understand. Like I want as strong as privacy legislation as we can, but the other thing is that the feasibility of enforcement is really fucking difficult when you've got all of these companies that are all basically bigger than states these days. You know, like more powerful than a state. It makes legislation very difficult to enforce.
It's hard when the product's good as well.
Yeah,
Like it's a good quality product.
They make it
like,
appealing,
gives you a
yeah.
lot of services, and
like Stadia, right?
Certain way. Like
Stadia for life.
Of course, Stadia. I've just bought it. In fact,
I can't wait.
There's a Stadia controller literally just there.
It is. Yeah. There it is. Brilliant.
I can't wait to boot this bad boy up
How much
and get going.
Worth now?
Well, you can actually send it all back for refunds.
Yeah, we got this.
This was for free.
Sent to us.
Yeah, they sent it for free.
It's dead.
We refund
Stadia's
it by
dead.
sending it to us. Can you send us back nothing?
Yeah.
Cheers.
We'll keep that as a little memento.
That is a memento of what Stadia was. Stadia was a platform for anyone who doesn't know what Stadia is, because, well, let's be honest.
It's a cloud-based gaming platform where you stream the game to you and it's run on their servers.
Google's version of OnLive.
And it had a good idea, but now gaming companies like Microsoft and
Game Pass,
Sony are making their own platforms that work.
And you already got the console, and you're like, well, I can play it anywhere now.
Yeah, like, it's a good idea.
Rather than it being a separate service.
Yeah, it just didn't take off.
I think we were surprised OnLive didn't work, but we're like, it didn't work. And then Stadia came along and we're like, well, I guess even if it doesn't work, Google have the capability to just force it to be a thing forever, right? Yeah. Because they've got...
Anything there is in their core product dies eventually.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. But they were talking like such a big game about Stadia and how like you could be watching a YouTube video and you could then just press a button on your Stadia and start playing the game alongside it. And
was it Google?
Yeah.
Stadia.
Google Stadia.
Nice, isn't it?
Apparently they're going to use Stadia streaming and compression tech for like other products now instead.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the tech was awesome, and that's what got me excited about it.
To compete with like the big dogs is kind of hard.
And already
especially if they've already got the
yeah.
titles. It's just a case of right.
Well, you said this yesterday. Like, it's still hardware tied.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like, it doesn't matter if your service is good. The thing is that the cultural buying behavior of the gaming consumer is usually either buy a expensive ass PC or a PC and spend all your money on it and just be PC centric, or choose one of the big consoles. And both the big consoles, even Microsoft Game Pass works on Windows now. Like, you just choose that. Why would you want to go and then get all your mates to go like, oh, let's do it on Stadia instead? You had to buy all the games again as well. Remember that?
That was it. Yeah, you had to buy the game and then you could stream it. So it was like there's a barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously if you just go for the streaming packages, which are clearly trying to be like a Netflix style gaming platform, which I think is great. Like, it's a good idea.
GeForce Now, you can use your existing library on GeForce Now, which is what Stadia needed to do, I think. Like, you can.
Yeah, that's just ultimately providing you a different way to play the games you already have on a different device if you're somewhere else.
You rent the hardware through NVIDIA.
That's such a niche, though.
Yeah, it is.
There's no market really. Well, there is. Clearly, they tried it, but like you say, a gamer will have a console of choice, or several if they're lucky, or a PC. And they don't need to cloud stream it from there on, because the console or PC can run it. Yeah, they're just doing it for a novelty.
I think obviously we're lucky to have PCs that run things at a high spec, and it's perfect and it's great. But like, I think for anyone who doesn't have access to that stuff, streaming is a great idea, but you just have to have a decent internet connection.
That's the thing. You need decent internet as well.
If it drops, you've just got a shit, but you haven't got a product. You just got using the thing that you want to use.
You can have the same gaming experience as your mates on a shit internet connection. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you have a console, like, like, oh man, it's gonna take ages for me to update this game, but at least I can stay on voice comms and access multiplayer, and all the hardware is running all the hard stuff. We're still a way off. I think when Stadia originally launched, it was like, oh, maybe the stuff that held OnLive back is going to be sorted now, because we've had fast internet in Bristol for like almost a decade now. Well, anyway, surprising to hear,
because even Sky are now releasing TVs with Sky built into it,
with a subscription for the TV.
Yeah, a subscription for the TV.
My brother's got that,
but apparently, like, it's not good because there's no like USBs on it. There's no like it's a very like closed off platform. And it just basically relies on streaming, so you have to have a good internet connection. So it feels like that's definitely like a way these tech companies are kind of moving towards. It's
cheaper to manufacture as well. I can see why manufacturers partner with,
which is weird, because you used to be able to obviously record on Sky.
I'm one of these people that quite likes the idea of products as a service, as a subscription. Like, things like subscribing for products rather than buying them outright, because I just think that things are getting so expensive that you almost can't afford them as an individual because of how complex things are. Like, like a lot of tech especially are incredibly complicated, incredibly amazing devices that do incredibly complicated things. And so I think that you're going to have to eventually start moving the goalposts in terms of cost because of how expensive things are to manufacture.
And then you have so many subscriptions. You need a subscription manager.
Yeah.
To manage your subscribtions.
Right. Cancel them on
and
the
then
fly.
you pay for that. And then it's like you haven't been using this one in like 4 months and you're still paying for it.
Yeah.
You've been subscribed to WoW for a year.
Yeah.
You've not played it once. You should unsubscribe.
I think there are literally apps, aren't there, that manage what
I need that.
which tell you like how
much
much
banking apps these days.
There's a lot
which
will tell you what
yeah.
you've actually spent and used, so you can actually be like, oh shit, I'm spending this much, and then cancel it. But I thought it was an interesting novel idea to have Sky renting a TV.
It makes sense rather than giving you
can
a
have
box.
a high quality television and Sky and pay a certain.
Great.
And it's surprised it's the first time. I'm
I think they didn't think they'd be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. They were like worried they wouldn't be able to produce
partner.
enough TVs.
Yeah, like Samsung or something involved, and then like. But yeah, that's quite a novel idea.
It is. It's a good use on their part of doing that.
Yeah. But it's limited, so.
See, there's another form of OLED tech now as well. QD OLED. Both Sony and Samsung are putting it out. Quantum Dot OLED.
Quantum Dot, okay. Isn't it
That's already been a thing.
Yes. So Quantum Dot LED was the thing. So
which was like the cheaper alternative.
So they used no, I mean, it's a different technology. So essentially, Samsung had Quantum Dot instead of OLED most of the time because...
It is cheaper though.
It is cheaper, I think, and also there are strengths to it against OLED. So OLED have some problems, like I think peak brightness on OLED isn't huge, and also screen burn-in is another issue with OLED. Yeah, so, but now they're producing Quantum Dot OLED.
Oh wow!
So the best of both worlds.
Wowie.
Yeah, Sony and Samsung are making them, and they're not even that expensive. But like the problem is they don't go above 65 inch at the moment. They can't manufacture a panel bigger than that. I don't know how many people.
65 is pretty good.
I know 65 is fine. Huge.
I guess it depends on the platform, but like for the most part.
Well, the article I read was like QD OLED are the future, but there's one big problem, and I was like, right, what's this about? And then they were like, yeah,
they got the click from you.
Yeah, they don't make it over 65, and I'm like, that's really big anyway. Like,
what if it's
who's buying 77-inch TVs?
What if you read that wrong and they're saying they're specifically not going to sell to over 65s?
Oh my god,
they're being ageist.
I'd be like, good, because my nan definitely can't tell how good her OLED TV that someone encouraged tricked her into buying is. So
plasma TVs, you couldn't lay plasma TVs on their front because like something would come out the front and like cause streaks.
Right.
So when we were at Curry's, like if one had tipped over, you were just like, well, that's a write-off. You have to send it back.
Oh my god.
Like because it would just
such a fickle beast.
You check that it was damaged, but like man.
Plazzies.
Now obviously they're just thinner than paper, and you can slap them on a wall like nothing
and roll them up.
And roll them up in some cases. That's an interesting technology. I'll see where that goes. Like I'm guessing it's low power output as well, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is.
That LG one that like came out of the box and like rolled out. So cool.
So many luxury mansions are going to have, because you know the hidden TV thing at the end of the bed. So many of them are going to have like the roll out TV, flat TVs now.
I mean, short throw projectors might completely change things as well. Like if
they get better, it's literally light. It's when you have lights on in the room.
Yeah.
It's just like if you have to have it pitch black, it's not necessarily a universal product.
I want my short throw projector so bright that when I turn it off after an evening of watching, the wall is
burnt in.
It's like, oh crap!
Like an obscura camera, it's creating a pattern on this. There's colours all over on the white.
Burning.
Oh man, that wall is so screwed. Gonna have to repaint that.
Then you got like Dulux short throw paint.
Yeah.
It's like extra durable.
And like it's like a little auto sprayer that after you finish watching for the night, it just resprays the wall for you.
That smell of paint.
I love it. And then you get like Glade versions of the paint, so the paint smells good when it's sprayed, and then bam, you got your problem solved.
Then there's a health crisis because they realise that there's like really harsh chemicals. And then we bring asbestos
back into it.
Yeah,
we thought it was safe again.
We come right back round.
It's not. No.
Full
asbestos,
circle.
not as bad as people thought.
Not as bad as the other chemicals we have right now.
That's literally how the opioid crisis in the US started, where like essentially they tried to change, drugs companies tried to change the perception of opioids. So like once upon a time they're like, yeah, opioids are highly addictive. We shouldn't just give them for random pain. They're only for severe pain, right? And then they were like, what if we just redefine it so that now opioids aren't as bad?
This just lends itself to my argument, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Highly addictive drugs are highly addictive.
Market something in the right way, you know.
Anything's a
every
drug.
time there's like an Apple announcement stuff, you kind of like tempted because it's like, oh, it looks very slick and stuff. But then you're like, have they added much? I don't really know. Like, so. if something's
They're not
presented
winning
well
me
enough,
over.
it does.
Yeah.
If it's presented well enough, sometimes it's like, oh shit, like I really want that. But then like you start like with phone technology in general now, like it's like they're all just glass rectangles,
and there's also
like,
tiny increments.
To make a change in that market now, obviously they're trying folding phones and whatever. It's hard to like persuade someone to now spend like £1,000 on a phone.
It's a lot, isn't it?
And obviously they're doing like various like things where you can trade them in and stuff. But
Apple
like
Finance.
the fact is like
Pay
phones
later.
will last longer now. They're all very powerful. Like, have you ever been like, oh, this is a fucking slow phone? Like, got to a point where I need to
really
change it. It's so slow. It's like
not unless they make
like
it.
the iPhone like 4 have I been like that bothered about my phone speed. Or games and stuff, which I don't even really play that many games on my phone.
I never game on my phone.
I used to like be like really I like try and go
try
on the
new
App Store
stuff.
and now I'm just like it's quite.
Well, it's because we have the luxury of having like gaming PCs and consoles.
So. Yeah.
Like, whereas I imagine the younger generations, like you just have a phone. Like that's the first major thing.
Like, I agree with
or
what you're
iPad.
saying. I think that the thing is though, it's
maybe
like
if I commuted a lot,
where there's never any like games that I actually want to play that are graphically demanding. Like occasionally I'll play a game that's got a good gameplay hook on mobile. Like, and I'd be like, like Flappy Bird. Like that wasn't graphically exciting. It was the gameplay hook that got you. And I just don't think beyond that. What was that? Something Blade.
What the phone?
That phone game that they always used to showcase amazing graphics.
Oh yeah.
Where you're like a knight and you like had the slide.
It's the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Demo tech, really.
I was just like who was buying a phone to play like 3D games on? I don't know.
It was more of a case of a nice crossover, but obviously as other technologies gotten better, and obviously laptops now, like this laptop in front of me can play AAA titles at high specs. It's pretty crazy what you can have in a small device now. But like on your phone, like. Yeah,
but there's no like game companies that are like, oh, imagine you could get XCOM. Well, you can get XCOM on iPad.
Introducing Warzone onto
mobile.
But then like, I can't play them because my thumbs don't work like that. It's just like
I think it's
I'm
not for
smearing across. It's not for us. Sure, it's not designed for us. But like, I think it's for children's fingers if it works because it.
Nimble little
my
boy
fingers
fingers
are sliding across, like trying to play. There's Call of Duty on there as well.
Yeah,
try to play it, and it's just a really terrible gaming experience. But obviously, like you say, maybe we're spoiled by.
If you haven't got a choice.
Playing on a console on a
Clash of Clans Royale was top 3 on Twitch the other day. The tournament for it. Yeah, I'm definitely.
But those types of games definitely lend themselves to mobile more. But like playing FPSs on a phone, feels shit unless obviously
because PUBG's mobile, isn't it, as well? And you got to use those like shitty. It's just so shit.
It's just not. Yeah, and the thing is, also I've moved away from console more as well, just because I don't enjoy using a controller for FPSs. But maybe it's just me.
I think
exactly.
If I could play with a controller properly, which
you've had the benefit of having better control schemes, whereas if you just have a touch device, that's it. Yeah. Then you have to learn it.
It has to be an environment where I think that using it is an enjoyable moment, rather than I'm sat near a desktop.
Yeah, exactly.
I could just go sit literally a few feet away.
You're literally
have a much better
it
experience. Yeah,
just to be like,
it's on my phone
because I can.
Yeah.
No, guys. Everybody has the same life experience as me, and they're just being stupid.
Main characters.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
main characters. We're all main characters, right?
We're all main characters.
It's just us three.
This main character.
We are the main characters.
Everyone understands that main character syndrome is just a synonym for selfishness, right? Yeah, like
ego.
It's just a way of saying that nothing else matters. Anyone else's opinion doesn't matter. It's all about number one. Them.
Yeah. I heard somebody say that in conversation. Like, I think I've got main character syndrome a bit, and I'm just like,
you're selfish.
You're just saying I mean, we are selfish. People are selfish. Everyone's
the thing is, like, it doesn't really. It kind of makes sense to assume that you are the main character, though, for the most part, because it's just like, well, you can only experience one perspective, really, other than sitting down and understanding what other people are going through. But like.
Yeah, but main character, it comes with an underlying, like, I'm the main character, I'm more important.
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes from.
Like skipping the queue, like bloody Holly and Phil.
Oh. Outrageous.
Bloody main characters.
No respect.
Who do they think they are?
How could they do
Not
it?
like Beckham.
They're still talking about it.
No, no,
week later. There's still discussions about it, and there's we feel really bad. We're getting hounded and stuff. It's like,
don't feel bad. It's going to be a vocal minority. Seriously.
Fuck off.
Did you hear?
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
No,
there was a big parade and everything. There's a funeral.
Parade.
Yeah,
a siesta.
Big old parade. That's a great time. Everyone's having a great time.
Wow. Well, on that note, I think we've done plenty of hat chatting today.
Oh, they actually announced the king's face now. What it's going to look like on a coin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's it look like?
Is it Prince Charles
one
on the
giant
side?
ear?
Is it? Is it?
No, it's big.
Is it?
But he just has big ears.
His ears and his
I've got big
hands.
ears, but
They just went for the hands instead.
ears and
Hand
fingers.
of the king.
he's literally just coyly touching his face. Ooh.
Wow, they really brought out
Wow.
all of the bad points.
Is that a load of sausages? No. Those are his fingers. He's just posing over his mouth.
I look forward to that currency on my polymers.
How long does it take to get a fucking currency out? It seems like something that normally takes a couple of years.
Yeah, I imagine it will.
What do they do with all the old polymers?
Bin.
now?
Just recycle them.
I pop them in the bin, don't you?
Yeah,
Like all your coppers.
When it was
I just
paper.
popped off into a bin. I found a couple of coppers the other day. I was like, I don't really have a jar for these. What do I do with them? And
You need to take them to the
pop them
beach
into a
and put
cupboard
them in
and
the
close it.
coin press.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just use them for
Just coin
coin
press.
presses, so I can get like a Brighton Beach tower or whatever it is. Yeah,
That's how much it's worth now.
nice. It's just another piece of trash. This,
Wait,
if
hold on. You
anything's more
guys don't
suitable
throw
for
them
a
at
bin.
cyclists?
Oh,
Come
no,
on,
I throw
I'm a
them off
cyclist,
motorway
man.
bridges.
God, I skimmed off 3 of them.
Ding, ding, ding. If you crack a windscreen,
Yeah.
extra points. I think you'd struggle to crack a windscreen with a penny.
I don't know.
Sure, that's next Hat Films video.
I think a small
Throwing things off motorway bridges.
high velocity impact would.
Let's try a rock. All right, yeah, let's try the rock.
Wait,
Well,
so-
it worked.
We've got a selection of things. There's just like bags
A
of bricks.
bowling ball.
Half brick.
A polished bowling ball. He's tossing it, and they're crashing.
Short video.
Wow.
Go.
We've got to go. We're going to get arrested. This is what we get arrested for.
Tossing things off of motorway bridges.
Oh no.
There's a small group of enthusiasts.
Wait to
Well.
know. You have to know what to look out for.
Yeah.
There's kids up there.
Oh,
What are they looking at?
They got a half break.
Are they spitting or are they throwing? Oh, they're spitting. It's fine.
Spitters or throwers.
Spitters. Prefer the spitters.
Thank you for listening today to our eclectic hat chat. We really covered all bases today, I think, from
A variety
gloom and
of things.
doom of dystopian technology futures
And how we're
to-
going to crime our way out of it.
Yeah.
to being
Yeah.
arrested to the king.
The
So
king. Yeah.
thank you for listening. Thanks again to our Patreon supporters for some reason deciding to give us money to continue doing this. Thank you.
Indeed.
You will get a hypothetical option every week that you can vote on.
We're also going to add on Patreon the members videos.
That's
So
right.
you are also a valued member. Because
YouTube.
why would you
We've had a
not?
few messages from patrons about that, saying like, could you upload the members videos on YouTube
So we'll get them on there.
to Patreon? That makes sense. So we will get around to that. Thank you for
Indeed.
asking.
We'll try and get the back catalogue, and there's only a few.
Backtrace
but
it.
We'll backtrace it and then get them on there. So if you're a patron, you get to enjoy them as well.
Indeed. So it's your choice, really, whether you want to support us on YouTube or Patreon. It's really up to you. Just offering you more options, really. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Actually, will we?
Yeah.
It's Craig's wedding.
Oh,
for the podcast, you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
we could do it on Thursday.
Move it around.
Move it around,
But,
yeah.
Either way, we'll be back.
And Craig will be married 2 weeks from now. How exciting.
That is to me as well.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you guys not know?
I didn't know that.
I'm the blushing bride. I'm wearing the same outfit I wore to that Witcher event in
really?
Scotland.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm
You
recycling it.
spoiled the whole
Oh, the
thing.
long-
He built this whole thing up.
He's
as like
already
a masked
seen the
singer.
dress. This is the thing.
Fucking
He's already
hell.
seen it. That lovely red
He's
robe.
got bad luck for his whole life now.
Has he?
Yeah. That's what that means.
Is it?
Treat him well.
I'm not. I'm going to treat him awfully.
Okay.
He likes that,
Well,
though.
they literally. I mean, there was a report yesterday saying divorces are like the highest they've ever been.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Don't know. Probably a hangover from the pandemic.
Could be. Could be.
There's a complete spurious guess, but
It's probably a good guess.
Do you want to place your bets now how long Craig's marriage is going to last?
it's a bit grim.
Till death do they part?
I don't
Yes.
I reckon so.
know. I think that.
Craig's a dedicated man.
Huh?
Craig's a dedicated man.
He's a very dedicated man.
Yeah, very traditional, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very traditional.
I think they're going to last
Got
the
some
whole
really
way.
traditional views as well.
He is.
Well, like good or bad traditional.
Sounds like a watchword,
Very
doesn't
traditional. Yeah.
it? He's very.
He's from a very
Yeah,
quaint,
very
sleepy
Ignore your
town.
granddad. He's got very traditional views.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is that another word for racist? Because that doesn't make it okay saying traditional.
no.
Anyway,
yes.
thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week at some time.
Yeah.
Have a great week. And until then, stay safe.
Yep.
And stay traditional. No, don't. Be open to new ideas. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.